Bye. Excuse me for the technical difficulties. You know, we have to work out the bugs, but what's up, mugs? We off in this thing, and we're gonna be talking about yards, about how people say they have multiple dogs, and they actually get the dogs out and exercise them, and they show them, and they do this, or with the newfound social media and Facebook. Now it's always the miraculous pictures of the, 10 or 15 plus dogs doing certain tricks and things like that, which that's cool. But why does it show different when the dog's in public? You know what I mean? Why is it different? Why does the dog power down? Why does the dog seem to want to be aggressive? Or why does the dog just actually affectionate? You know, dogs tell you things through their emotions and then their body movements. You know what I mean? I can tell when I buy a dog from somebody basically how you truly catch them or not. You know? I bought dogs where people tell me that they played with him every day and had a good relationship with him. And then when I get the dog and I try to do the same thing, the moment I leave him for 45 minutes, he has separation anxiety. The dog's showing me that that's not true, that he didn't come from a home to where he was played every day. Because if a dog suffers from separation anxiety, it means that the dog only has human interaction every now and again, and it's starving for it. Because all dogs are companions. That's why I actually ask people, how do you truly maintain your yard? And I mean, let me go get in the book. And I don't mean maintain your yard with just kibble. I don't mean maintain your yard with just the fancy setup. I mean, how are you truly maintaining your yard mentally? How are your dogs set up mentally and structurally, man, and physically? How was your yard set up for workouts? You know, what do you do other than the spring pole and the flirt pole? Do you swim? And not just playtime, I mean, do you actually swim? Because swimming can help them out a lot and actually help their lungs grow, even at an older age. When you got old dogs, that's the perfect thing for them to do calisthenics, is for them to be in water. That's why I ask people, how do you really maintain your yard? Do your dog just go to shows and catch a ball? That's a boring ass life, you know? My dogs get out, they go be amongst people. I take my dogs out in public to stores. When I have the time, I take my dogs out on trails. Like I found a nice little neat trail right off of 7th Street to where I get out of there. Get out of there, boy. To where you can take your dogs and go have fun, and you can move. You can actually let them loose. You can actually let the dogs loose, and it's a free trail that don't lead, anywhere, and it's a nice what I like to call sniffing trail. Y'all, you know about them trails, Chris. Them old sniffing
Yeah.
trails where they can go let you go actually let the dog be a dog. That's why I ask people, how is your yard maintained? I'm tired of hearing this. What up, Jeff? I'm tired of hearing the same old I feed Victor. And no offense, cuz I'm tired of hearing the raw speech, But me and you talk about that with Ian Nesto. You feel me? We
Yeah.
talk we talk about this subject. That's what I'm touching on about the Ian Nest shit. You feel me? Like how is
Yeah.
your like what is in your dog? This is like almost like a person's diet. What's in your dog's diet? You know what I mean? And when I say diet, what do you allow him to do? What do you allow him to interact with? Like I don't let my dogs interact with certain dogs. Like sporadic acting dogs that won't mind or don't listen, I don't allow them around my dog. I don't. People call me crazy for that. They're like, man, that's stupid as hell. Nope. Because dogs mimic things. And you leave your dog around a dog, especially if you know your dog is a work in progress, if you bought your dog at a certain age that it wasn't, in adolescent stage for you to bring it up. You know what I mean? You don't need that dog. Like, knowing my dog Kato, like y'all know I always only talk about things that I have. Like Kato. I know Kato is male aggressive. You feel me? I know Kato is animal aggressive. You feel me?
Hmm.
I'm not finna go take him around a dog that I know is gonna constantly pick a fight. He'll play and deal with a submissive animal. You feel me? He's not that ferocious. You feel me? But
Yeah.
but if I take him around something because I mentally know my dog, that's how I keep my yard. You feel me? That's
Yeah.
how I'm able to keep dogs with fire in them still. You feel me? Because I got act quick. I got a mental connection with my dog. Like I see what he finna do before he do it, and I didn't. I just bought this dog last year. That's how I run my yard. That's why I tell people when they tell me they have multiple dogs and they have a 9 to 5, your dogs don't get out like that. I know they don't. You feel me? The math don't add up and the behavior of your animal don't add up. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of them end up getting rid of dogs. Or well, I need to send it, and I'm gonna tell you how you can catch the phrases. Oh well, this one needs to go to a one dog home or a no pet home. You feel me?
Hmm.
But all these conditions come with the dog. You feel me? That's how I know. Okay, you ain't keep this dog good. You feel me? A lot of people think that shit just all about feeding. Like obedience is a lot. This is a damn animal. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's a go ahead, bro.
A lot of people, man, like you said, obedience is a big part of it too. A lot of people miss those stepping stones. I call them building blocks. I call them stepping stones, man. In order to maintain a yard with multiple dogs. I mean, a lot of y'all see me all the time. I'm going live with my dogs. Every now and then I got to yell at one dog to get their attention or whatnot. It's more military style here, but the way my dogs, are set up mentally, they are mentally set up to be in a pack. Like I don't trust myself, one, but I don't trust my dogs to take them to dog parks and think everything gonna be okay, because the way I instilled, how they live here on my yard as a pack. When you build that pack type mentality, I mean, you have to kind of be worried about, if you go to dog parks, will the dog snap out, because it's not around the rest of his pack. But if you take another member of that pack with you to a dog park, you still got to be worried, because they are saying we're not going to let any other animal come into our group. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how it is. And
yeah.
that's how I keep my dogs, because the reason I keep my dogs in that pack mentality is because that's how I live my life with my family. We are a tight unit. So therefore, the animals that come with us, they are a tight unit as well.
And
I do see some people who have packs of animals, or they call them packs of animals, where they just have multiple dogs, but they could take those multiple dogs, or they could take dogs around other dogs and everything's cool. That's cool for y'all, but for me, that's not that cool for me, because I want a dog that still got a lot of fire behind it, but I still want them to be mentally sound to be able to coexist as a pack inside my yard.
cause like a lot of people don't realize something. Like I'm gonna ask people, like, and a lot of people gonna call me crazy. Like, how many of y'all go try to make sure your dog is mentally sound? Cause you wouldn't even know how. You feel me?
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you a few. I'm gonna tell you a quick few ways that I always make sure your dog is mentally sound. One, take the dog, walk him. You know what I'm saying? On a busy highway, and see how he acts to just multiple size vehicles and different noises. You feel me?
Hmm.
One, two, fire a gun around him. You feel me? And a lot of people are like, well, this is not normal noises that a dog would hear. That's right, because you don't know how this dog is gonna react when he happens to hear this noise. Especially with this day and age, it's not uncommon to hear a gunshot ring out. You feel me? It's not uncommon to take a dog somewhere and he get loose and freak out because he sees vehicles or things he's never seen before. You have to expose your dogs to certain things so they have a certain type of mentality. I tell people, all dogs have good temperament. You just have to invoke it.
Yeah,
All there
TKs.
is there all dogs can. There's no lost case in a dog. It's just a person that's came to a drawing board and don't know what to do. Like
Yeah.
I pride myself in saying that I can take any aggressive dog. You feel me? I want to get back to when I privately had a bite suit and I really was taking in truly aggressive dogs and I broke them. You feel me? I just needed a bite suit because they weren't playing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I tell people, y'all be having these dogs, and that's why y'all breeding them to the point to where you can put two bitches in a litter, two bitches in the same weapon box. Y'all
That's
all breed,
crazy, man.
y'all all breeding these dogs to the point where yes, a Yorkshire Terrier can dominate them because that Yorkshire Terrier is with the Asian and the Oriental people like to say that Yorkshire Terrier's chi is the size of their dogs already. So by you taking that mental part away, by you breathing that out to where now it can't focus and say, hey, look, I need to stand my ground, even if it is just to bark at this terrier and back him up. Because I was always taught if it won't bark at a worm, it won't bark at him. That means it won't bark to protect you. If a dog is not mentally sound to protect me, I don't want it. I don't care if
Yeah.
it's a goddamn Spitz. I don't care if it's the fucking Applehead Chihuahua. If you can't bark and at least grab an ankle for me, you feel me? Grab an
Mm-hmm.
ankle for me, I'll do the rest. Distract him for a minute, you feel me? Because
Yeah.
that's my dog job. And see, he has to be mentally sound to be able to think, okay, he got my back, in which the bond, because a lot of people are like, well, that's like having a bond. Yes, it's like having a bond. You feel me? But you still got to make sure certain dogs don't click up because they don't have that bond. They're not mentally sound. They be emotionally inept. They be mentally inept. You feel me? And that comes through poor breeding. And a lot of y'all think it's cute. Oh, look, oh. But then you want to know why. You feel me? When something happens or somebody come out of the dog trying to outrun you. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's mentally, emotionally inept. One thing I can say about Kato, he's a very friendly dog. Very friendly. But when nightfall comes, walk up on me and that black dog if you want to. You feel me?
Yeah.
He's had a gunfight around him since I've had him. He's been walked on the highway. This dog, and y'all watch me go live with him. I live in a metropolitan city, and I live in the heart of it. You feel me? So he sees cars every day, and this dog is from the country, and it don't bother him. You feel me? You see the drastic change? He lived in the country all of his life. You feel me? And he came up
Yeah.
because I knew the mental checks to give this dog. And that means he was Clint Myler bred him right. He comes out of Pee Wee's yard. You feel me? So that means
Yeah.
Pee Wee's yard was kept mentally sound. You feel me? That means his mother and father were kept mentally sound. You feel me? A lot of people think that shit, like, I really be looking at it. Oh, that is cute, huh? That you just letting that little dog dominate your dog. And on the inside, he just shitting and pissing. You know what I mean? And it's not a macho thing. It's a breeding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it's a macho thing is a goddamn cop out. That's just you not wanting to answer up that you got a fucking pretty dog, but he's a mess in between his ears. He's pretty. Oh yeah, he can sit, stay, and come. That's shit a dog's supposed to do. Oh, he can run and catch a ball. That's shit a dog's supposed to do. You feel me?
Yeah.
Do shit like Kato do. My neighbor told me he watched. That's how my dog got out of the yard. He said my dog bounced up and down until he opened the latch on my gate. He didn't break out. He sat and let himself out. Now that's some shit a dog ain't supposed to be doing. But that because he was bred correctly, he has enough DHA produced. He was mentally kept when where he was and here, so he knows how to stop and think for a minute. You feel me? When have you bully people, especially you bully people, and I'm not talking about the little cute, oh, he can hold a biscuit, that's patience. You feel me? That's not
Yeah.
thinking, that's patience. When has your dog actually, like, let itself out of cage? Kato's even, I showed y'all, he's figured out how to bend his cage back to get out. You feel me? And I'm like, Jesus H. Christ. That means this dog was just blood right. There's no other way to say it. When you keep in your yard to a certain degree, it's the raw. That's something you're supposed to do if you can afford it. You give your dog top notch if you can afford it, especially you pretty puppy meals. If you feed and kibble, that's what he's supposed to do. A lot of this shit that y'all be wanting credit for with these dogs, that shit they supposed to be doing. That's things you're supposed to be doing. When you can get them to actually think, differentiate, and they can think and differentiate because they know when and not to bite your ass when you do something they don't like. You still have to remember that dog has a cerebral cortex just like we do. So that means if something has a cerebral cortex, it can think. Am I right or wrong, Chris?
You right.
So now, this is where we get beyond bully when we start talking dog. because this is how I can tell when a lot of y'all, oh, my bully, like with Kimbo. I don't think Kimbo will bite nobody. He scares people, and then he gets what he wants, and then he feeds off of that. You feel me? But if a real dog man go over there, yeah, no, he probably might grab you. But if a real dog man go over there and hold his nuts, and when I say I'm figuratively speaking, saying you go over there and stand your ground and be willing to sock him in his mouth the minute he try to bite you, I bet you that dog be your best friend from now on out. You feel me? Because you're sending not with just that force, you're sending a mental message to that dog. Hey, look, I don't want to hurt you, but we'll take it though. And see, that's something.
Somebody asked a question, bro.
Okay.
Somebody said, what are you looking for in a litter for stable-minded pups?
Okay. Stable-minded pups, when they run away from their urine and feces, first of all. You feel me? If you got a puppy that use the bathroom and go play in it, or go run in it, or go walk in it, and I'm saying this at a certain age, okay? At a certain age, around probably about 9, 10 weeks old, when they know it, that's poop and pee, and they're still playing and going in it, that dog's not stable-minded. That dog's not mentally sound. Because
the dog off a little bit.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to keep. A lot of people they'll shrug that off. Oh, it's just being a puppy. No, it's not just being a puppy, because 9 times out of 10, that same puppy, think back, that's the same dog that tear up your house. That's the same dog that tear up his water bowl. That's the same dog that they like to get out your yard. That's the same dog that you got to watch. He might try to bite. You feel me?
Yeah.
I could tell with a lot of y'all I could tell some of y'all good champion dogs that y'all love. I could tell they were shit eaters when they were puppies. I could just tell how they keep their face. You feel me? I could tell how they keep their tail. I could tell how you have to always arch their head up. When a bull-bred dog is in a proud moment, you will see it. From a cane corso to a boxer. When a bull-bred dog is in a proud moment, it's gonna show it. That shit's just not for a bully. You feel me?
When I look for, hold on, somebody replied to you don't take time to train your puppy or teach them right or wrong. That is your fault, not the fault of the dogs. All right, my outlook on a stable-minded pup, man, when a dog is bred on my yard, it's different, because I use what's called ENS with my animals, early neurological stimulation. But after using early neurological stimulation, a not so sound dog on my yard, they typically do one or two things. One thing they may do is they just very standoffish, very scared of everything, or they are overly aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's how I classify, an unstable puppy on my yard.
Okay.
So it's either.
If you don't take time to train. Okay, Robert McCormick, not to cut you off. I'm gonna get it. All right, listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me answer Robert McCormick real quick. Listen, Robert. We're not talking about if you have to teach a dog to not bother its feces, that dog is off. That's something
True.
A dog is born knowing, to not bother its defecation. A dog is known. Is that because you see as an adult it won't do it, and it's not because you taught it. It's because it knows better, because it's something in its nature. It's something. My phone going dead. That's not something you teach a dog. If you have to teach a dog to leave its pee and its defecation alone, then you don't need to be breeding. I'm sorry. It's this straight dog talk, So I hope you got your big boy pants on. Don't take it the wrong way. I have never in over the 15 years breeding ever had to teach a dog to leave its feces alone. The dogs that I see that do that, the dogs that I see do that, then I teach them right from wrong. Yes. But do I initially go in trying to do that? No. Because because listen to the age range I said. 10 weeks or better, they know better. Unless you leave them in a crate all of the time. So that means, with you saying that you have to teach them right from wrong, that means you don't daily let your dogs out daily. That means you don't deal with your dogs all the time. That means you either have a working schedule, so you have to teach them not to deal with it. You feel me? See, I talk dogs. I am a dog, man. So a lot of questions or a lot of answers that y'all give, I can read them between the lines because any real dog man know if you have to teach that dog to leave his feces alone, that dog getting the hell out my yard. The dog getting the hell
All
out
right,
my yard.
I
That
got
dog
something
getting
I can add
fixed.
on to that, bro. All right, so using that as an example, my last litter was 4 years ago. I did early neurological stimulation with them puppies. When them puppies turn about 5 weeks, overnight, this is what I noticed, that those puppies would get up, walk away to the side, use the bathroom outside of their sleeping area. They didn't run through it. They didn't play with poo-poo or none of that. They used the restroom off to the side. They went back to the other side of the pen and started playing. And out of all the years that I've been dealing with dogs, when I seen a dog play with poop or I seen a dog eat poop, it was one or two things.
Thank you,
One,
Robert, for
if
not
a
taking it the hard. Excuse me, Chris. I'm sorry. Thank you for not taking it the wrong way. That's fine and dandy. Then you know what I'm talking about, then, Robert. Go ahead, Chris.
um, it's one or two things. If I see a dog that eats poop, that means something in its nutrition is being missed.
Off, way off,
So it's off.
off. I'm
And
talking
then
about.
if nothing is being missed in its nutrition and the dog is still wanting to eat poop, there's something off mentally with that dog.
Yes. Well, with that being said, I'm glad y'all called in. Y'all tuned in as usual. You know, because we're gonna leave topics in the air. We're gonna start leaving topics in the air. And what this topic is, how do you mentally keep your yard? So, same bat time, same bat channel. You dig?